So we open with the husbands joining us. And I mean, I use husbands very loosely. As loose as their skin. Their chicken skin. Oh God, Frank and Polly are comparing chiclets. Ooh. Oh, Joe Gorga's heart is beating out of his chest too, just like his sister's. Two hearts beating as an incestual one. Ooh, great question, Andy. What was up with that creepy "I sleep in your grandfather's PJ, I live with your nieces" comment? That was odd. Oh, now he's saying it came out wrong. You came out wrong. He said when I made that comment, it sounded creepy. Yeah, but you're creepy. But he couldn't just answer the question. Here comes the word vomit. Gorgas says, well, every time I believe you, Mighty Joe Young, you screw me over. He said him and his sister had a great relationship when she got out of prison because she was humbled. And then she said, oh, you were only calling because we were filming. You see, Teresa, when you need people, you're all family. But the second the wind blows another way, it's just because of filming. And again, it's because you really want Joe. You never asked me out to dinner. You never took me out. They had photos. They showed them last episode. Melissa, I don't want to talk to you anymore. You and my brother, shut up. Melissa said, it's because you're a liar and we're proving you wrong. Melissa said, you just disowned us 20 minutes ago, so stop talking to my husband because he's not your blood anymore. Make up your mind. You in or you out. But we get bored with the Melissa and Teresa shit, so we ask the husband, who's the highest functioning alcoholic? And it's a true competition. Then we flutter over to Frank, and he says, me and Dolores ain't bumping uglies, we're just family. And Andy says, and why you still living with her ex-man? Because David's his man now. This is a very open, secret, down-low relationship. Oh, now we got Bill saying, I don't ignore my family, I just hide in the pool house from my wife. My kids I enjoy. Then we asked Paulie, when you getting divorced so you can get married to Dolores? And he said, oh, she wants to take it slow. You don't want to pay alimony. We go over to Louie and ask, why ain't Frank Jr. working for you no more? What happened? Black Dolores said, we gonna keep my son's name out this bull. I can't be mad at her. Oh, so Black Dolores shut it down. However, John Fuda asked, Louie and Teresa, why'd y'all bring my son's mother in this? Y'all don't know her. But they had Joe Dietl sniffing around. And let's see if Bo Dietl knows more than Bo Diddley. Teresa said, well, can you prove we had you investigated? Can you prove it? Well, they certainly proved you were guilty of mortgage fraud. I wouldn't ask for proof. If I were you, Teresa, I'd keep my mouth shut. We never know what another investigation of you will turn up. Now they telling him take it up with Bo Dietl. Now he's saying, oh, I misstated that Bo Dietl stuff out of anger. So you just backpedaling, pussy popping. Andy said, you said it the next day as well, Bo Dietl. Maybe he was in the same state of psychosis. That looks like it was induced by cocaine. I'm not saying it was. I'm not saying he was in a state of psychosis. But he looks like he was in a state of cocaine-induced psychosis that just continued for 24 hours. In layman's terms, I believe it's called a bender. He appears to be on a bender. I'm not saying it's true, but that's what it looks like to me. A cocaine psychosis bender. That's just what it looks like, though it might not be. I mean, you look at that red skin, that's what it appears like to me. That hyped up persona, that's what I'm getting. I'm getting induced. But what would I know? I wasn't there. But just the camera, how they're showing it gives me induced. Allegedly. I mean, how he just can't stop talking mile a minute, how he's very moist, very sweaty. I get cocaine psychosis. Rachel said, I was out to dinner and I saw Bo Dietl. How odd. What a coinkydink. Teresa, I bet you Mighty Joe Young paid for Bo Dietl with your credit card. He's probably setting your stupid butt up yet again. You know how your first husband did you. Wait, hold on. Marge was pulling out an envelope from behind her. Ooh, do we have another receipt binder? But then they get a call from downstairs, and Bo Dietl sent this security person. What? They really know how to get the nutcases on Jersey. Does he just like to say Bo Dietl, Bo Dietl, Bo Dietl, Bo Dietl? Is that like your safe word or something? Bo Dietl. So they had security sent because they've been getting threats on their lives. Now they're saying Margaret's been speaking to a person that's been harassing them. Margaret says he's under investigation for calling her child and threatening her child at work. Oh, it's his exes who are claiming that he was abusive, and that's who they're saying Marge has been talking to. Margaret has his number on the documentate. Frank asks, did you or did you not hire Bo Dietl to do a slander campaign on me and Joe Gorga? You wouldn't need to hire Bo Dietl for that. They already talk about how y'all ain't shit on the internet. Frank, you were disbarred on the show, so you also have no credibility. I mean, if they disbarred a white man in Jersey, you was up to some shit. 'Cause pink toes always protecting their own. Danielle, you just asked what's a smear campaign? You can't play stupid when you are stupid. Marge says you're trying to intimidate us, and Louis says be careful. Like you some made man. The only reason you're not in prison is because, well, I'd say you're white, but you're more of a reddish color. And I don't know if they should put you in prison or a zoo. Gorg is saying they know everything. Mighty Joe Young is saying he knows everything. It's a small town. I'm sure everybody's already told your business because the truth is nobody likes any of you. You know why my business ain't in the street? Because my friends keep it out the street. But now we're talking about Pizzagate, and apparently Mighty Joe Young left Gorga holding the bag. Mighty Joe Young says he wrote a check for $110,000 for 2,200 ovens? Why so many? So he said everything was for Teresa, nothing was in his name. So that way she's legally liable and you get away scot-free. He's giving me Dirty John vibes, allegedly. So Gorg is saying he stole the idea, and Mighty Joe Young is saying he lost the money. But then we go to the fact that he had a falling out with Dina's husband over a business deal. Now Joe Gorg is saying Mighty Joe Young is a woman abuser. So Teresa's saying Jacqueline told her that Joe and Melissa were hanging out with Joe Judice's old business partner who ratted them out. And so Teresa believes that Joe and Melissa are why she ended up in jail. No, that was your husband's fraud, because even though that guy ratted them out, he still had to commit the felony to be ratted out on. You see, you can't rat me out for a felony I didn't commit. However, Frank was the attorney at the time. So Frank says he never says anything. Andy says, I'm sorry, Teresa. You've been talking shit about Jackie for 10 years and now she's got the gospel. Andy says, roll tape. Joe Gorgas says, you met this guy that came in with all these videos. Mighty Joe Young is a disaster. And he is. And then he's saying, just a matter of time, Joe, just a matter of time. You ain't gonna bust a grape. You just look like an ape. Why'd you have to bring up the videos? You've got stuff in your past. Joe's like, bring it up, because I ain't been to prison. Joe don't regret not going to the wedding. Let him talk, let him talk. So now we go over when Mighty Joe Young went to Joe Gorga and said, you know, Melissa's cheating. And he said, why didn't you have Melissa since you was telling Joe this rumor? I don't know, it was my fault. You never know. But I guess like monkeys, your object permanence isn't that great. Another episode of Pink Toes in the Mist. Now we calling Gia to see if she'll fess up to telling Joe that she could do better than Melissa. I believe Gia's shit-starting ass said it. I'm calling my daughter right now, So of course Gia lied. I always put you first. We were best friends. No. You were incestuous lovers. Yeah, that family phallus. You got it in like Game of Thrones, but you can't be. So you married another monkey. A monkey. A thieving monkey. I can't hit that high note, but you know where we going. I don't want to make up with him. He's lying about my daughter. I don't want to see him. Child, you didn't have this much energy for the man that put you in prison. So Frank said it was never this bad with Joe Judice as it's been with Mighty Joe Young. And Jennifer pipes up and said, well, he said he didn't hire the private investigator. And John Fuda said, I never would have involved my son's mom in prison. Everybody's like, he's lying, Jen. He's lying. But, you know, she's stuck on stupid. Oh, God. So Teresa's still crying backstage, more pouting. Andy goes back to get her. So we get Teresa back on stage, and her and Joe say their final words to each other. Joe's like, I still love you. I'm never going to say never. I'm just mad at you now. And Teresa's saying, honor me, honor me. You're honoree. So the husbands are leaving, and Mighty Joe Young tells Rachel, oh, you're a great mother. I'd never investigate you. However, her husband said, if you want to be my friend, you're going to have to fess, because I know you did it. But Mighty Joe Young won't admit it. So it's the final moments. Nothing got resolved. I think they both need to go. Jennifer's saying it's so much more fun when we get along, but you're always starting shit. Danielle and Margaret are going to get on the good foot because they don't want this insanity. And Rachel and Danielle are going to get along too. Teresa says she's let go. And Melissa says, I still love you. I still worry about you. I'm going to just go with the family. And that was the shit. And I do mean shit.